Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF, and this month's Creativity Without Borders is such a fun suite of products. Kelly and I just can't wait to share what we have created, and every month you get the supplies that you need to make 2 each of 4 cards. That's 8 cards. And then Kelly and I each do a bonus video that gives you a bonus card. So you would have 10 cards. I am going to add an extra bonus to the bonus, and I'm going to flip this around so you can just see what it is instead of me talking and yapping for 10 minutes. So let's get our craft on. So you know, every month Kelly and I choose a suite or a bundle or products that we are going to feature, and this month we are featuring the Birthday Bonanza suite. And as you can see, it has just got the cutest products. The DSP, the stamp set, the dies, everything is just incredible. So with this month's kit, you are going to get a half a pack of the designer series paper. You are going to get a roll of the Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon. We have skipped the pom-poms and the bags, and we've gone in an entirely different direction. So you are also going to get a package of the clear acetate boxes, and spoiler alert, this is going to be my bonus project. You're also going to get a roll of the tear and tape, because who can't use tear and tape? So I just wanted to show you 2 things. These are free downloads on my website, and I have to tell you, Kelly was the one that inspired this one. So hers and mine are just very slightly different. So if you follow Kelly, you may already have this. If you don't, you can download it for free from her site. You can download it for free from my site. They're slightly different, but very slightly. So it shows you all of the patterns, the back and front of all of the designer series paper. It also gives you the names and the colors of the cardstock. So again, free download. The other thing that's a free download is I have these on my website, and while it doesn't look all that impressive like this, this is because it is the mini catalog, and there are so many that I just don't have room to store them all in their own individual case. So what I did was I printed them out, and sorry for the glare, I glued these back so they're like pockets now. Because usually what I do is, when it's something from the annual catalog or something that's sticking around for a while, they would each get their own case because I'm buying a full package and cutting it up and putting it in there. Well, these ones, 1, I don't have room, and 2, these papers aren't around long enough to just let them sit. So I use them as quick as I can. So that is another free download. You can choose to get a clear mount case for each one, which is what these are designed for, or you can just get one or use a file folder, or however you want to store them. It is a free download. So this is the card. It has a belly band on it. And then this was a design that I saw from Connie Stewart, and I think I did it backwards, but that's okay. I think hers opened like this. Really doesn't matter one way or the other, so we are going to recreate it like this again. Super cute, isn't it? So you get to use a lot of the DSP, you get to make a belly band, you get to die cut one of the koala bears. Fun, fun, fun. And who wouldn't love this card? I'd love to receive this card. So I have got a piece of 5.5 by 11 Whisper White thick cardstock. Now the only unfortunate thing with this fun fold is that you can only get 1 per sheet of cardstock because it's 5.5 by 11, not 4.25 by 11. So that is the only drawback, but c'est la vie, right? We can handle an extra piece of cardstock. So we are going to score this a couple of different times. So I've got my Stampin' Trimmer here. I'm going to park my blade at the bottom so that I don't cut it accidentally. We are going to score at 9 3/4. Just run it back and forth a couple of times. You can use your Simply Scored or whatever scoring tool you have. 5.5. and 1 3/4. And that's all the scoring there is. We're going to keep our Stampin' Trimmer out because there is a little bit of cutting that we have to do, but we can fold this down. So that one is coming in, this is coming in, and that one is going out. And once you make 1 or 2, you're gonna know exactly how this works. Okay, so there is the bones of our card. So I have actually already gone ahead and cut my DSP. So this one is 3.5 by 5 1/4. This one is 1.5 by 5 1/4, and this is 1 by 5 1/4. So we'll move that Stampin' Trimmer out of the way. Okay, so we are ready to start assembling, and I'm actually just going to open this up just to make sure that I have everything where I need it to be. I mean, it looks pretty obvious, but I've also got a piece of DSP in here, which is totally optional. And if you want to use this piece, it will be 4 by 5 1/4, but it also gives you a really nice place if you had a big, long sentiment that you wanted. If you're just putting Dear Johnny, then you could just write it there. But if you want that extra piece of DSP, use it. So we're going to attach this piece. I am going to cut down a piece of this one just to put on the inside here. So that's 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to keep this piece because we are going to use that for a little something. I bet you can guess what it's for. Oh, I was wrong. It's not 4 by 5 1/4. It is 3.5 by 5 1/4. There we go, that's better. So we can just glue that down. And while I'm using liquid glue, you can totally use snail or whatever adhesive you'd like to use. I find liquid glue lasts so long and goes so far that it's just the most economical and long-lasting adhesive that we have. Okay, so the next step is, oh, I got a little piece right there. Look at that. So that one will be another 1 inch by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use my little mini trimmer for this one because it's more convenient. So this little trimmer is only available with a starter kit through the end of March. Demonstrators were able to pre-order it in the month of December, but now the only way to get it is as a starter kit. So this only goes to about 4 1/4 inches on the one side, so I'm just going to mark that I need it to be 5 1/4 using my grid paper. So I always have a little ruler that's handy, but sometimes usually I forget that I can use my grid paper for a job like that. So for the lion, we are using Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody. And for the toucan, we're using Memento, and then we're doing a little bit of blend coloring. And the sentiment is Bermuda Bay. I can't wait for you to see the designs that we have come up with for this class. There are so many cute stamps in here. And even if you don't have little kids in your life, these would be great for adults. So many things. I mean, when this stamp set first came out, the wildfires in Australia were just raging. And it broke my heart every time I stamped that little toucan. Sorry, not the toucan, the koala bear. Now for the lion, I'm going to leave my Memento open because we still need it for the lion's face. So we'll ink up that body really good. And I'm just cleaning with my chamois off to the side here. Now I'm going to grab the mane and the tail and stamp those. And I know I've got a lot of ink on my pad right now. As long as I press the right way, it won't end up on my paper. So there we go. We've got a fun little ombre effect with the mane. And then his little face. And you certainly don't need to use a block as big as I'm using, but this is what I had, so that's what I'm using. So the only stamping left on this, on the card itself, not the belly band, is our sentiment. So I chose, I'm glad it's your birthday so I can tell you how wonderful you are. And again, I'm going to do that in Bermuda Bay. Just hold it down. I find that if you hold your stamp down for a few seconds, it allows all of that ink to transfer. Okay, and then for our belly band, we are going to cut out a piece of Whisper White cardstock using the So Sentimental bundle with the Stitch So Sweetly dies. Try saying that a couple times fast. Okay, before I do that, let's color his little beak. So I'm using light pumpkin pie for this part. And if you're not sure what color to color these guys, just take a look at your DSP because it will show you. If I find a picture of the toucan. So there, it shows you the colors that Stampin' Up! Has used so that you can coordinate that to your designer series paper. So next I am going to use So Saffron. Might have been Daffodil Delight the first time. And then I use Calypso Coral. And I try to only go over this part once because I don't want it bleeding through to the back. Because, see, you can see because I went over that So Saffron, you can see it on the back. So you could put a little layer of DSP if you want it there. Okay, so that is the card base done. So now we just need our belly band. And I didn't stamp this one, I just die cut it. So if you see in here, all of the stamps have a coordinating die cut, so we can cut the little koala bear. So I just have a 1" by 11" strip of Whisper White cardstock. And then I'm going to use a scrap just to do my Stitch So Sweetly tag. If you haven't considered this bundle in the new catalog, you're missing out. You're going to want it. I can almost guarantee that. These dies are incredible and the sentiments cover almost any occasion. So just run this through quick. I actually could have cut out my koala at the same time. Okay, so there's our little koala, and then we're just going to grab this fun little pom-pom shape, and we're going to stamp it in a few different colors. So I've got Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, Terracotta Tile, and Grapefruit Grove. Yes, that was a question. Terracotta Tile, Mango Melody, Daffodil Delight, and these are all colors that coordinate with the designer series paper. So the first thing I want to do is stamp my happy birthday so that I don't run out of room. So we will close our card up, and I actually don't like scoring my belly bands. I prefer to just wrap it around. You never have to guess that you've gotten the right score line. You can put it as tight or as loose as you want. There's no guesswork to it. And then all you have to do is snip off your excess. Perhaps with a trimmer so that you have it straight. So then all we have to do is glue this. You can use some tear and tape. Now, I know I folded this on the back. I would recommend that you take it off and flip it to the front. I don't adhere it that way because if I get any glue on the card base, it's easier to clean it off the back than it is the front. So now we can just glue that right on there. So glue it on here, staying away from those edges. You don't want to just undo what you did by working on the back. Put that down, and then we're going to pop a couple of dimensionals on our koala. And just pop him over here. And there we go. So the next thing we are going to do, put this one back together. We are going to dress up an acetate box so that once you have all your cards made, if you can bear it apart with them, you can put them in here and give them to new parents, new grandparents, and then they've got a little stash of birthday cards to give away. They don't have to run to a store if they have a birthday party to attend. They're just set to go, and it makes a great gift. So we've got those in there. I would put envelopes in there. Didn't do any stamping on my envelopes. So all we're going to do, remember I said to keep this piece set aside, all we're going to do is wrap it around. Now I had thought I would use my gorgeous braided border punch to do this, and we can. However, I think that if we do that, we're going to put another belly band because there's going to be a lot to see with 2 belly bands. Now, granted, you would have your other cards in here, maybe in the front. You could put a little piece of DSP, but it's a lot to look at. So let me show you how to do this. This is a new punch in the mini catalog, and I currently have an online class that I designed using the bundle, and it is a wonderful bundle. And if you'd like to know more about my online class using this bundle, you can go to stampedaf.ca. The link will be in the description below. Okay, so I was saying you'd probably want to have something behind that, right? Now, if you were just doing it like this and you didn't have cards showing, that would be one thing, but we've got a lot going on there. So let's use some crushed curry, and I'm just going to trim, it looks like it's going to be about 1 inch. Yep. So 1 inch, 1 inch by 11. And then what we can do is just glue the 2 of these together. Let's make sure it's going to fit around here first. I sure hope so. Yeah, it will. Okay, so a trick to gluing this down, I've cut that poor little lion just all up. One of the tricks I learned was to start on the right side and just follow the lines. Try and have it where your hand isn't resting on a flat surface because it will help it to flow easier. Because when it's touching the desk, I find it's really easy to stop, and then I get glue on my grid paper and it goes all over the place. So just be light and flowy. Okay, there we go. A couple spots where I got glue on the paper, but no biggie. Hold down your crushed curry with one hand and then just press this down with the other. And then if you get any seepage of your glue, just take your pick tool and wipe it off. So now, same thing, I'm not going to score it, I'm just going to wrap it around, and we can score it after the fact. And there we go. Now, the one thing you could do, and I actually intended to do this and then I got caught up in the cardstock, was I was going to loop my daffodil ruched ribbon in the braids, and then I thought, well, one, I got carried away with the cardstock, but two, I thought it might be a little too much. So we're just gonna tie a little bow at the end of this. We're gonna cut off this piece, cut off that piece, and we're going to use our tag because why not? And then it makes it a gift and packaging all in one. So let's just glue this down. And then while that's setting, I'm gonna put a couple of blocks on there. I'll move it out of the way so it's not blinding you with the glare. And then what we'll do is just do one of these tags. So I'm going to use a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It's just the regular weight. Okay, so there is our tag. Now I've got a fun little trick. This is like a third bonus. You guys are getting bonus after bonus after bonus. So the next step is to take the second smallest stitched rectangle die, and we're going to take a little bit of washi tape, and we're going to tape that on there and run that through. Pop that out. There we go. We're also going to cut one of the tags out using one of the designer series papers in the bundle. One that's not too busy. I think we'll use part of this one. We'll cut that out, and that's going to be our background. Okay. This tag, if you buy the bundle for nothing else, buy it for this tag, because this is going to last you forever. It is perfect for so many occasions, like anytime you need a tag. This could be your go-to. It is phenomenal. So we have two options here. One is we can use vellum. And I have, oops, this is upside down. I have done that before, and you can see everything in there. The other option is a window sheet. And I think I'm going to go for the vellum because the acetate box itself is pretty shiny. We're gonna blind these people with light. So instead of die cutting this, I am just going to glue it on there, and then I'm gonna trim it by hand. Okay, and then you have your options of a few different options. You can use the iridescent sequins, the celebration metallic twine and sequins, or anything that you really want to add. There's so many different sequin options, but I think I'm going to use a combination of these two. You can use the pom-poms, but I will tell you they are staticky. So I use the pom-poms in the shaker card with the snow globe domes, and while it's cute, they really stick together. So it's less of a shaker card and more of a staticky pom-pom card. But if you'd like to do that, by all means. So when you're creating a shaker card, you never want to put it in here because you're going to have to flip it and risk getting them everywhere. So I like to just put them right on my surface, and we're just going to grab a few of them. That's going to take me all day if I keep doing it like that. So we've got a good mix of colors there. And then I find that the colors in this one match perfectly. Like, it's like these sequins were created to go with this bundle. And you can't go wrong. This is a celebration item that you can get with a $60 purchase in Canada, $50 in the US. And you get 2 rolls of twine and the package of sequins. And I don't know that it's, oh, you get 2 spools with, I don't think it says how long. Nope, it doesn't say how long. But 2 rolls of twine and the sequins. And that's free with a $60 order. Okay, so mix those up. Try not to get them too staticky. And then using your embossing buddy, just remove the adhesive from your foam strips. So there we go. Now you could most definitely, this shifted on me the tiniest little bit. You could have stamped something on there. It'd be really tricky to do it now, but there, you've got a fun little shaker card. So now the other thing we could do is die cut. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you do a shaker card, always go around the edges and make sure that you have no gaps. You don't want your recipient to get their shaker and have sequins falling out. And if you've got them sticking in the corner, because this is a little more forgiving, it's not a snow globe dome, you can go in and just move that away from the edge. Try not to lift it too many times because it won't stick after a while. But for those sequins that get stuck right on there, just move them away from the side. I think I used a bit more embossing buddy than I should have. The other thing you can do is, if you're finding that you have a leak, just run a bead of Tombow at the edge, and that will seal up any leaks. Sometimes I like to do that just as a preventative measure. So I think I was saying that you can also add one of the die cut characters on here. So we've got the koala on the card. We could do the lion on here since it's the lion on the backing. Or we can just leave it blank. And like I mentioned, you could have stamped something on that vellum. My DSP. Let's die cut out a quick. And now I've got one last idea. I know this video has been a marathon, but I've got one more idea. I'm gonna add one more little thing to this tag. So using our embossing buddy, because we're doing white embossing on black, you always want to use your embossing buddy. We're going to use some white powder. Okay, and we are gonna fussy cut. So this seems to be all the rage lately, is doing white embossing on black cardstock and then fussy cutting around it. So I am just going to do this very quickly. Easy peasy! And doesn't it just, it makes his face just pop. And look, that took like no time at all. And we're even going to use our black mini dimensionals. I was just saying in a live recently that I finally broke down and purchased the black dimensionals. Now I know I am using a lot on here, but I don't want it to dip down. And honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to use the black dimensionals, so I want to use them up so I don't have them sitting here forever. There we go! I'm so happy with how it turned out. It was a bit of a process. And luckily you didn't have to sit through and watch it all because I did do some editing. You're welcome. Because you're probably thinking, I wouldn't have watched it all the way through. But there we go. We've got a very cute little lion. He's got a little blip over his one eye. But how cute is that? So if you didn't have this big card in the front kind of obstructing your view, let's pretend this is the front. How cute is that? And then I think we're just going to add a couple of glue dots because then they can pull it off and they can still use it. Okay, so we'll add a couple of glue dots, but we're going to take some of that stick off first, because if we just adhere it with glue dots and someone were to tear it off, it would tear this DSP to shreds. So if you want something to be removable, just take off some of that adhesive. I often do that just to take a picture of my card closed. I'll put a glue dot on and take some of that adhesive off so that I can open it after the fact. I'll flatten them out just a little bit. The other thing you could do is use a little Velcro dot. But then if you give that tag away, someone's going to wonder why there's Velcro on the back. That's good. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed these 3 bonus projects, the card, the belly band, and the tag. I know this video was truly a marathon, and if you're still watching, God bless you. So I just wanted to give you a quick peek. If you belong to my Pretty AF group, in January, you saw us use, well, you saw me use the Birthday Bonanza bundle, or the Bonanza Buddies bundle. I just want to show you a couple of quick things that I have done with this. And in the month of January, our group was free. So this, while they are exclusive designs, it was free to everyone. So just going to show you this one again. This wasn't in our group, but it's the one using the snow globe bundle. Here is another shaker card, and I've got the tag just mounted on the card base with some sequins in there with the DSP. The DSP really does all the work. And then we've got this one. I think this one's my favorite, and you're probably thinking, well, big deal. Not much to it, but look, it opens up and those letters are what meet at the bottom. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I've got this little piece here, but if I didn't have that piece there, that is the bottom of the card. Isn't it cute? Honestly, the DSP does all the work in this bundle. So there's another one. This is one of my favorite techniques, is to use the tailored tag punch with designer series paper and just layer them. Well, not layer them, lay them out, and then you've got a fun pattern. This one didn't exactly turn out the way I wanted it, but the pop of black with the Broadway birthday bundle, just love that. This one does some background stamping with all of the little characters and just a little happy birthday on the inside. And this is my second favorite because I was just so proud of myself for this one. So this is an easel card, but it's also a shaker card. Sorry, all you can see is my light. So it's shaker, but it also stands up as an easel card. And then you can write your greeting in there. So if you would like any of this information and you weren't part of our group in January, it is $15 a month to subscribe to that group, Canadian or American. And there's weekly Facebook Lives with 4 designs per week. So you're getting 16 designs per month. So if you are a demonstrator teaching classes, those are like it's a class in a pack. And you get the PDF tutorial. You get there's prize patrol in our Facebook Lives. There is a birthday club. There's virtual swaps. There's a creative challenge with prize patrol. It's incredible. So worth it. And we don't know why you would want to, but you can cancel anytime. So that's all for today, my crafty friends. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will purchase the February Creativity Without Borders for the Bonanza Buddies suite of products. We'll see you soon, my friends. Bye.